Hi, my name is Max. I'm the head coach, owner here at Grapple Collective. One of the main ways we differ from other gyms is we put a focus on using what's called the ecological approach. So basically what that means is rather than just coming in and drilling like a technique against an unresisting opponent or training partner, and we'll set up a game where each of you have a different set of objectives that you're trying to achieve. So it makes it more realistic and basically helps you develop your own skills rather than just like practicing exactly what we say. And so there's a lot of scientific research that's gone into suggesting why that's a more effective way of learning. And at least anecdotally so far, we've had really great success with all of the people that train here. I've been so pleased with the progression that people have made. Yeah, it's really exciting to see where we can take it. So atmosphere, community, inclusivity, these are all things that were front of mind when we're setting up the gym and are a massive priority for all of us here. First of all, we want it to be a good community space, so we want everyone to feel welcome. Partly explains the name Grapple Collective. We want it to be something that everyone feels like they're a part of. As part of that, we recognize that it's very important to be as inclusive as possible. So we want to get lots of women training here. Historically, women have been massively underrepresented in the sport. So we're really trying to put an emphasis on encouraging more women to train, members of the LGBTQ community. We're trying to create a space which is like welcoming for everyone and also hopefully recognizes some of the barriers to entry that face people from different backgrounds and trying to do what we can to minimize those. So for instance, something very simple, we made sure that when we built the gym, the male and female changing rooms were exactly the same, equal sizes, 2 showers in each, so that we're not favoritizing like one gender over the other. And then we also made sure that we had a private changing room as well. So anyone who just wants some privacy when they change or who doesn't feel like male-female changing room really fits with how they identify, then we have a private changing room which can facilitate those people just fine. So we have different types of classes which cater for different people or for different moods that you might be in. So the first class that you'd come to if you're brand new is our intro class, which kind of does what it says on the tin. It's going to introduce you to the sport of grappling. We have an 8-week course, so it's split up into 8 separate weeks. And after the 8 weeks, if you come consistently, we just want you to feel comfortable that you basically know what's going on. So the structure of the intro class is always the same. We have 10 minutes focused at the start on breaking grips from standing, so stopping someone from being able to control you against your will, basically, and then also getting up from bottom position against resistance. Very useful for the sport side of things, but also has a self-defense application that's somewhat realistic. After that, the rest of the 50 minutes of the class is focused on whichever one of the 8 topics that we're focusing on that given week. So we have 3 different sessions focused on submission holds, where if you catch a submission on someone, you win automatically. And then we have a focus on different positions that score points in a grappling match and also transitions that score points in a grappling match. So once you've done all 8 weeks, you should have an idea of like all of your possible routes to like victory or defeat in a grappling match. After that, then we have the fundamentals class. This one is open to all levels, and we have even our most advanced students who've been training 10+ years come and benefit from the fundamentals class. So to be clear, it's not a beginner's class, it's open to all levels. And there, the focus is developing skills which are gonna make you a competent grappler. So 90% of the stuff that you'd be doing in a sparring session is your fundamental techniques. And so those are the ones that we focus on in the fundamentals class. Again, using a games-based approach. So even if you know the techniques that we're working on or the skills that we're working on, you can be like refining those skills and making your own improvements, connecting dots in your mind. Structure is generally we will do 10 minutes or so of standing technique, usually at the start, but sometimes at the end of the session. And the other 50 to 45 minutes is focused on whatever topic we're going through on the ground at that moment. So we have 13 different topics. Each one lasts for 2 weeks in the fundamentals program. So the idea being that we cover pretty much the entirety of submission grappling in a 6-month period, okay? 13 times 2, 26. 26 weeks is 6 months. So after 6 months of consistent training, you should have a very, very good idea what's going on and be like well on your way to being a well-rounded grappler. And submission grappling class is the top level of class that we have in terms of the level of complexity and the ability that it's aimed at. And my goal with that program is basically to take people the extra step from being competent grapplers to being excellent grapplers. So we wouldn't advise this for people who are very, very new, but ultimately the goal is to get people up to the level where they're comfortable doing that class and it's useful for them, and that's where we take everything up to the next level and focus on, really becoming excellent grapplers. So for the submission grappling, we tend to focus on 2 separate ground topics and the wrestling topic within the same class. So because it's aimed at higher level people, we want to be working a broader range of skills so we can pretty much try and practice most of, if not the whole game of jiu-jitsu in every session. The exact topics change. We want to have some overlap with the fundamentals program whilst developing and taking those skills a bit further, and then also maybe cover some topics which are perhaps a little bit more complex, so they're not really appropriate for fundamentals. We'd cover those in the submission grappling program. It's super important that like everything that we do is fun. Like ultimately, like people come here for a hobby and they should be coming because they enjoy it. So another reason behind the games-based approach that we take to teaching classes is it's way more engaging, it's way more fun, and we're trying to really create an atmosphere that's very easygoing, welcoming for people so that they feel relaxed and that they can enjoy themselves with their friends rather than feeling like they're coming into like a super tense environment.